The Bears are in the playoffs. Wait. The Bears are in the playoffs. Now the question is, are they for real or are they frauds? Let's talk about it. So the Chicago Bears finished this season with 11-6 record, which was good enough for the second seed in the NFC. An incredible year for the Chicago Bears, given that they only won 15 games in the last 3 seasons. Huge testament to first-year head coach Ben Johnson and this coaching staff, and also second-year Caleb Williams. What was so great about this season is the Bears weren't supposed to be good. This was year 1 under Ben Johnson, second year for Caleb Williams. We had a bunch of rookies on offense, Dennis Allen with the defense that had some pieces. So everyone before the season had this team winning maybe 7, potentially 9 at max. That was their ceilings for a lot of people. And they just completely blew out expectations. Not my expectation, because I had them winning 12 games. So I'm a little disappointed that they only ended up with 11, but that's neither here or there. They ended up with the 2nd seed and are now going to host the 7th seed Green Bay Packers for the rubber match. The three-peat. Another banger coming to you soon this Saturday night. Tune in. It's gonna be legendary. Let's talk about the Bears offense. Offensively, this is hands down the best Bears offense that I've seen in years. Maybe 2013 with Jay Cutler, Alshon Jeffrey, Matt Forte, Brandon Marshall. That was like the last time the Bears had a legit top tier offense. Now this year, they have a bunch of guys on rookie contracts getting it done. Rome Odunze, who's been injured for the last couple games, but he was a huge factor early on in the season. Colston Loveland, who's been picking up a lot of 3rd downs, 4th downs when you gotta have it. Caleb's looking for him. Luther Burden, our burner, and then obviously the man himself, Iceman, our quarterback, our future, Caleb fucking Williams. These guys have been huge players on this offense and big reasons why this team performed as well as they did during the regular season. Now, obviously, got to give your flowers to the big man up front because the offense does not go if they do not do their job. Ryan Poles did a great job rebuilding this offensive line in the offseason, and then Ben Johnson and this coaching staff got this line working like a well-oiled machine. Run blocking, amazing. Pass blocking, way better than in years past where they're just letting guys go for free. And then to round off this high-powered offense, you got Swifty and then DJ Moore, who's been very hit or miss during the season. Hopefully, he'll be a hit during the playoffs. On the other side of the ball, this has probably been one of the worst Bears defense that I've seen in years. The Chicago Bears historically are known for their amazing defenses. They put the team on their back and carry them as far as they can. But this year, complete opposite. They lead the league in turnovers, which is an amazing feat. 20 interceptions, 22 fumble recoveries. But man, they are not good. They're 23rd in the league for points per game, 27th pressure rate, and then 21st sacks. And then on 3rd down, teams are converting at a 41% against them, and that's just not sustainable winning football. It's been the same story for this defense all season long. Yes, the turnovers are really nice. They're leading the league in all turnovers. That's awesome. It's amazing. But those turnovers hid the fact of how bad this defense actually is. This D-line, when they rush forward, get 0 pressure, and the numbers back it up. Even when they blitz, they still don't get pressure. So it puts Dennis Allen in a real awkward situation where he's like, I can't really do anything. I can't get pressure on the quarterback, which affects the coverage on the back end, because if the quarterback has all the time in the world to sit in the pocket, wait for a receiver to come open, obviously our secondary isn't going to be able to cover them for 3+ seconds. But also, this defense has been riddled with injuries all throughout the years. TJ Edwards and Tremaine Edmonds, our starting linebackers, have been in and out of the lineup with injuries. Jalen Johnson, our top corner, also had a groin injury, which you can see it's affecting him. Like, he's not as fast. He doesn't get in and out of his break as quickly as he did before. And then also, you're missing one of the best slot corners in the league in Kyler Gordon, who's been gone pretty much this whole year due to injury. This defense has been trying to work its way through with duct tape and cardboard boxes, trying to put themselves together to look like a fearsome monsters of the Midway Chicago Bears defense, but they just aren't. And especially in the last 3 games of the season with the Packers, 49ers, and the Lions, their offensive play calling was simple. Win on first and second down, and then make it third and manageable. And this team, more often than not, isn't going to get a stop on third down. And you just continue having long, sustained drives because the Bears defense just really isn't good enough. Unless if they're getting turnovers, you're going to get yards on every play. But the saving factor for this Bears defense is they've been bending but not breaking. Don't look at the 49ers game. Just ignore that, please. But against the Packers in the second game and also the Lions last week, they didn't let up a lot of touchdowns. Yes, the Packers and Lions got a lot of yards. They drive the whole field, but then it would have to settle for a field goal, which led to a couple misses. It kept the Bears in the game. So although this defense doesn't get a lot of pressures, they're awful on third down. When it comes down to it, they find a way. And that's what it's been all season. They find a way to put the team in a position to win. Now, do the Bears actually have a chance of making a run for the Super Bowl and lifting up the Lombardi Trophy at the end of the season? Probably not. Historically, teams that are top 10 offenses and bottom of the league defenses are wildcard bounces. You have the 2023 Eagles, who are 7th in offense but 30th in defense. They got absolutely smacked by the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. You have the 2022 Seahawks and the 2022 Vikings, both top 10 offenses, not great defenses, who also lost in the wild card round. And then the 2020 Titans with Derrick Henry, they had the 4th ranked offense and 24th ranked defense, who ended up losing to the Ravens in the wild card that year. And that's just in the last 5 years. High powered offenses, not great defenses, losing in the first round, because that's just playoff football. Playoff football is all about time of possession, winning on critical downs, winning in the red zone. And if your defense isn't stopping the other team from getting points, it makes it extremely difficult for your offense to have to be more efficient than they usually are in order for you to win. It's just not a recipe for success. It's a recipe for losing in the wild card of the playoffs. However, there are 2 teams that ended up winning the Super Bowl that had top 10 offenses and bottom tier defenses during the regular season. That was your 2011 Giants and your 2006 Colts, who ended up beating the Bears in the Super Bowl. Now, please note, the 2011 Giants and the 2006 Colts defenses, their regular season stats do not reflect how good they actually were and how well they performed in the playoffs. Now, Brett Coleman has an amazing YouTube video that goes into very details how Bob Sanders pretty much transformed that Colts defense for their Super Bowl run. They were historically bad on first and second down, which allowed teams to convert at a high rate on third down. But in the playoffs with Bob Sanders, their run defense became significantly better. And on third down, they were able to let their edge of Dwight Freeney and Robert Mathis go get a sack, high pressure rates, and they were just significantly better on third down during the playoff runs. For the 2006 Colts, their third down percentage during the regular season was 47%. Teams were converting first downs damn near 50% of the time. In the playoff run, it dropped 10% all the way down to 37. It's a huge, huge difference between winning and losing the games, and it was very significant for them. And then for the Giants, they were just good all year on third down. 37% during the regular season, and that even dropped down to 33% during the playoffs. Those are the 2 teams that have won Super Bowls with the similar stats as the Bears. The biggest stat that kind of popped out is defensive third down conversion and time of possession. Time of possession is such a big thing. I mean, it's such a simple concept. The more time you have with the ball, the more likely you're going to be winning, because the more time you have with the ball means more chances you have to score points and less chances for your opponents to score points. Yes, I know it's not the best stat to measure a team and how good or bad they are, but just quickly looking at the time of possessions between the Colts and the Giants through their Super Bowl run and these teams that got bounced in the wild card, the Colts and the Giants did a great job winning the time of possession battles. Now that is due to your offense being successful on third downs and your defense getting off the field on third downs. That's where these wildcard teams kind of failed. They all were over the 50% mark on third down for their defense, and that's going to be the nail in the coffin for the Bears. If they are not able to get off the field on third down and make this Packers team punt the ball, you might as well just kiss the season goodbye and look forward to the draft, because there's no way that Matt LaFleur and Jordan Love and this offense aren't going to get points in this wildcard game if they are converting consistently on third down. Speaking of the Packers, let's get into the preview of the wildcard matchup. Now, this is the third time these teams will be playing this year. They're very familiar with each other. They kind of know what they are going to go into the game doing. So now is the perfect time to throw that curveball, to throw that little changeup that you've been holding in your back pocket all season long. For the offense, I think the plan's simple. Run the fucking ball down Green Bay's throat. They always come up short in the playoffs due to their run game. Please use your strength and run it down their face, please. And then Caleb Williams and everyone else, you have to be on from the first play out the gate. The issue I've seen Caleb Williams, he's a young guy, I get it. The moment's huge. It's a huge game, his first playoff game. Every big time game, whether it's like his first primetime game, his first Packers game, anytime the lights are bright, eventually he calms himself down and gets into the game. But the first drive, he's sailing the ball 10, 15 yards over his receivers. He's super inaccurate just because he's so amped up. He's so juiced, and that cannon of an arm is just firing missiles that just can't be caught by his receivers. So he needs to really, from the get-go, settle down. Get in, like find his groove into the game, and it's got to be quick. It's got to be from the start. You cannot have a slow start in the playoffs. Given how the last two games went with the Bears and Packers, you're only going to get 6, maybe 7 possessions in this game. So every single one matters, and you have to make the most out of it. And on the defense side of the ball, we've been talking about it all video. Get off on third downs. You have to find a way to win on third down. Last week against the Lions, Dennis Allen went man-to-man so often. I wasn't sure if he's just showing Ryan Poles like, hey, this is the defense I'm working with, and I need help to be able to run the scheme. I need better guys. Maybe he's doing a 4D chess move, trying to lure Matt LaFleur. Hey, Matt, I like to call man. These crossing routes, they work really well. You should call them. You should call a lot of crossing routes. And then in the game, he's going to have the secondary passing off the crossing routes. They're going to zone up. They're going to just disrupt and just do so much of a better job than they did last week. They're all just playing dead. Everyone thinks this defense is ass. And then they're going to have like 3 or 4 turnovers in the wild card. Yeah? Can we? No? Okay. Whatever. And then lastly, the biggest thing that the Bears have going for them is Toyota-thon ended on Monday. Let's go! Jordan Love no longer's got the superpowers of Toyota. Let's check the stats real quick. Outside of Toyota-thon, Jordan Love looks like a backup QB. Inside of Toyota-thon, that man is a bona fide Hall of Famer. That's insane, the contrast of stats. Yards are similar, but the touchdown to interception, holy crap. So please, Jordan Love, just add on to the interceptions while you're out of Toyota-thon. Huge bonus to the Bears defense that we don't have Toyota-thon Jordan Love coming into Chicago. Now, is he still going to complete a lot of passes, get a lot of yards, and look really good against this defense? Yeah, absolutely. But will he throw off his back foot a terrible interception? Probably. I like my odds. Let's get into the score prediction. The trilogy, the match to determine so much between the teams and the fans. Is it going to be a passing of the torch moment where the Bears firmly take control? Ben Johnson keeps his promise about beating Matt LaFleur twice a year and goes on and defeat the Green Bay Packers to make a run to the Super Bowl? Or is it the year of 27 for Jordan Love and the Green Bay Packers? Brett Favre won his Super Bowl at 27. Aaron Rodgers won his Super Bowl at 27. Will Jordan Love make a Cinderella run as the 7th seed. No Micah Parsons, no Tucker Kraft. Injuries riddled this team, but Jordan Love's 27. And it's the year that the Packers win the Super Bowl. All of it will be decided under the lights, Saturday night at Soldier Field. The match to determine the Super Bowl winner, Green Bay Packers and the Chicago Bears. My prediction for this game is going to be a traditional Packers-Bears game. Low amount of possessions, low scoring, some ugly football, but at the end of the day, it's going to keep us all on the edge of our seats till the very last play. So these last 2 games were decided on the last throw by Caleb Williams. One ended up in an interception. The other ended up in an overtime touchdown. But this game's going to be determined by the last throw made by Jordan Love. I got the Packers scoring 17 points. And the Bears, their fraudulent defense shows up when the team needs them most. And on the last play of the game, they intercept Jordan Love and go on to win 19-17 and move on to the divisional round. And with all that momentum, continue their way onto the Super Bowl and winning it all, beating the Patriots in a 1985 Super Bowl rematch and lift the Lombardi Trophy for the first time since 1985. I already said it in my season prediction. You might as well get used to it. Get that 2-step going because we shuffling all the way down to San Francisco and winning in Levi Stadium. Yes, sir. Your Chicago Bears. I don't care how they're built. I don't care what the stats say. They winning 4 games in a row. They've done it twice this year already. They're going to do it a 3rd time. And the Bears start their dynasty in this playoff run. If y'all made it this far, thank you all so much for watching. Please leave a like, comment, and subscribe. And as always, Bear down, Chicago Bears. So